spin, clean, repeat. One dash, one clone, 1000 blades. This is rogue domination. This is the ultimate Dance of Knife rogues. It's not just another rogue build. This is Dance of Knife, deadly ballet that shred boss, infernal hordes, hell tides, and an overall endgame like Shadow Tornado. I will present you two versions, one purpose, erased everything. Welcome to my full guide of Dance of Knife rogue, a build that combines speed, precision, and pure chaos. In this video, I will show you how I use it to melt boss, speed farm the pit, erased hordes, and hell tides. And even you'll get both variants of the build, one for pure speed and smooth farming, and one tailored for high endgame pushing and elite damage output. Let's break it down. Alright my friends, so in this video I will present you two versions of Dance of Knife rogue. For the most of the time I will use the speed farm and overall version, because as you can see here, you can move very fast, you can teleport with backjaw, you can dash, you can move faster, and you are a deadly Shadow Tornado. And I will present you the variant for pit pushing. In this version we are using the poison trap. So here we go. If you want to master Dance of Knife rogue, you have to stay until the end, because there is few tricks and tips to know to perform with this build. If you like this kind of content, high endgame build meta breakdown, hit a like, and please, if you want to support me, don't forget to subscribe. Here we go. We'll have all the information on my planner on Mobalytics that I will show you just after. So we start with the active bar skill. We are using dash. Why we are using dash? Because we play with quickening fog, and quickening fog just drop smoke after the dash, as you can see here. A poison smoke, because we have the smoke grenade, subverting smoke grenade, and the most important is enemy hits by smoke grenade take 55% more damage. This is a great multiplayer, so this is really strong. We are using also caltrop, because caltrop have a big multiplier up to 45% X damage against enemies that are taken in your caltrops. So this is really strong. We are also using dark shroud for toughness and critical strike chance with countering dark shroud, and once you have enough critical strike chance, you can remove this point here. Shadow clone. Shadow clone is the most important thing of your build, because it deals the most part of your damage. This is really mandatory and really strong. You will have straight reduce the cooldown of Shadow clone, and we are always using cold imbuement, because this allows you to put target under vulnerability, and we have a big multiplier with frigid finesse plus 40% against frozen enemy. Alright, so a quick overview of the gameplay. So you wanna play under dark shroud for toughness, you play with your caltrops, activate multiplier, then you dash for drop smoke grenade, activate your shadow clone, your imbuement, then you are start spinning and destroy your enemy, my friend. Alright, so now the passive. So we are playing with blade shift, just 2 points here for go to target practice and sturdy, more close damage reduction. Then we'll take Dance of Knife. So as you can see here, you got 6 charge. If you don't move, you will be out of charge, and when you are out of charge, you can spin again. All right, so you have to travel 30 meters, play with infinite Dance of Knife. You can see here, look at my charges. 4, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6. Okay, so you just have to stay in movement every time, and you have to aim your enemies with your boss power, because the multiplier for 50% more X damage. So this is great. Now you have caltrops. Caltrops, it's a big multiplier of damage for your enemies when they are taken in your caltrop. They take 10% increased damage from you, increased by 5% each second, up to 45%. You have 10% critical strike chance against enemy inside your caltrops, and this double against the vulnerable enemy, so this is a plus 20% critical strike chance. But once you have enough critical strike chance, around 100% all buff active, you can remove disciplined caltrops for methodical caltrops. Here, big multiplier, unstable elixir. Don't forget, I forget to tell you, but don't forget to use potion after your dash. You are using potion just right after your dash to active all multipliers. And unstable elixir. Your unstable elixir stun surrounding enemy for 2 seconds and increase damage by 24% for 10 seconds. This is really great. And this is why rogue are better against boss with HADs. You can stun his minion and benefit to this multiplier. Fixed attack, increase critical strike chance and critical strike damage when enemies are stunned or dazed. So this is also good. And weapon mastery because it will give you a huge multiplier with dagger and sword, or bow or crossbow, whatever you want. 3 point in exploit, 3 point in malice, plus damage on vulnerable target, healthy and injured enemy, 3 point in dead eyes, 40% damage increase to distant enemy. And this is really important because we are always moving and we are always trying to aim our target with our boss power. 1 point in deadly venom, 3 point in alchemical advantage, attack speed and lucky hit chance. And this is activated by our smoke, subverting smoke grenade. So this is a good source of damage. Now we are taking Shadow Clone. We are improved our Shadow Clone because we gain steals and unstoppable, and this fits really well with our table wheels, more damage and more damage reduction while we are unstoppable. Supreme Shadow Clone deals additional 20% of our damage, and we are taking momentum. This is a great overall boost. Damage reduction, maximum energy, movement speed, increased damage when we are at full skill. Each time we are casting a curse throw skill for a maximum of 10 stack. So 60% increased damage, 30% more movement speed, 30% maximum energy, 30% damage reduction. This is a really great overall ultimate passive. We are using Aftermath with Unto because our ultimate skill deals 60% damage increase. So as you can see here, Shadow Clone deals 140% of our damage. It deals more damage than yourself. So Shadow Clone is your best ally to do damage. And we really want to boost ultimate cooldown reduction. You really want to be permanently with your Shadow Clone. Impetus really important also because after moving 15 meters, your next core ultimate skill deal here for 8 ranks, 64% increased damage. So this is really great. And while this damage is ready, you deal 40% increased damage. So 40% increased damage plus 64% increased damage with your next core or ultimate skill. So this is work for our ultimate skill because we don't have a core skill. And for the push version, we are using Poison Trap because subverting Poison Trap adds another 20% X multiplier. So this is really great. And we are removing Dark Shroud of our bar skill, and we will add the rune Zolmot to have 3 Dark Shroud charge. Alright, so this is a bit different. We are using Drops, Trap, Shadow Clone, Imbuement, your dash potion, and then you are bursting your enemy. Now the rock specialization. We are taking preparation because your ultimate skill reset your cooldown, and we reset the cooldown of our ultimate skills. So this is always great to reset easily all your CD. This also grants 15% more damage reduction for 10 seconds. As you can see here, I'm under cooldown, and now I cast my Shadow Clone, and now all my CDs are up. This is my full planner of Dance of Night, the Clone, Spin to Win, Master, and you have the 2 different versions, endgame Push Pit and endgame Speed Farm and overall content. Now let's talk about the boss power. We are using Wandering Death Chest Beam. This is really great because it deals huge amount of damage, and the most important thing is that enemy hit by your beam take 50% more damage. So this is why you have to always focus your enemy with your beam, and in order to do that you have to spin around your target. All right, then we are playing with Harbinger of Heart Rate Volley because it deals plus 20% increased damage against vulnerable enemy. Beastmaster's Training, maybe the second most important things because your summon, aka your Shadow Clone, deals more damage, increased by your bonus of your critical strike damage. So you have to reach 60% critical strike damage to be at a maximum of damage increase for your Shadow Clone, and the maximum is 150%. And finally Cinera's Flame because we deal more damage with our Cold Embodiment plus 55% damage for this element increased. Now let's go for the aspect. For the aspect, we are playing with Mythic and Unique, and I will start with the offensive aspect, the most important in Stolen Vigor, because you'll deal 100% more damage with Curse Road skill while you are at maximum stack of the momentum key passive. So momentum is really important, and you become unstoppable for 3 seconds every 6 seconds. That fits perfectly with are T-Boat Will. Apogeic Furor, this is a really strong aspect also for Barbarian with your pet. This buff your ultimate skill each time you are using it until you are at 10 stack. And this cooldown and this bonus are reset. So you can go here on the amulet until plus 150% damage with your ultimate skill. On this time we are using it because we gain plus 5 at our agility and subterfuge shield. This is really strong. Imitated imbibement. Your shadow clone also apply a cold imbibement, and this point is really important, my friend. Casting an imbibement skill grants you to your active shadow clone increased damage, so you always have to put your shadow clone first, then cast your cold imbibement right after. And we play with Variant Brawler because when you cast an ultimate skill, your damage are increased for 30% for 8 seconds. You gain also 2 additional ultimate skill ranks. And finally, Star Shard. This is a really good source of damage because it scales very well with our damage and attack speed. Now the gear and the stat, my friend. Let's start with the unique. We play with Head of Perdition because this is one of the best helms actually with Shaco, just because it has plus 60% X damage with the moderate favor. So this is really good. You want to have a GA on critical strike chance and Masterwork this stat, but I don't have the perfect helm and I got only GA on my core skill. So stat on this unique are also great. For the full days, this is the best chest in the game actually, because it gives you plus 1 to all passive. So it's a big and huge boost overall for your character. And then you can remove some passive. You add just 1 point because it's 1 point everywhere for free, and stats are also great. Grasp of Shadow, this is pretty good. Great stat here, attack speed, critical strike chance, and cutthroat skill, and rank 2 cutthroat skill, so this is also great. T-Boat Will, also a good source of damage and damage reduction while we are unstoppable. Alright, and for the boots we are playing with Weakening Fog to activate our smoke grenade just right after our dash. As you can see here on my planner, you have the gear and stat, the aspect, and for both version the gear is the same and the stat is the same. The only thing that changed is 1 bond of Paragon and the poison trap. And for the Masterwork on the helm, you're gonna Masterwork critical strike chance, all stat on chest, glove ranks to cutthroat skill, T-Boat's Will, damage reduction while unstoppable, the boots ranks of Dance of Knife. And the other stat that are really mandatory and important is on your item and on your weapon. You want a double Masterwork chance for Dance of Knife to deal double damage. This is approximately 100% chance for deal double damage with your Dance of Knife, and you want a Masterwork, if possible, cutthroat attack speed. The same thing here for your sword or your dagger, but both are great. You want to play sword or dagger, this is okay. Chance for Shadow Clone to deal double damage. You want to double Masterwork those both. Sword will reach approximately 100% for your Shadow Clone to deal double damage. Then after you want to also rock the last Masterwork on cutthroat attack speed here. And finally on your jewelry, you really want to put Shadow Clone cooldown reduction everywhere and damage per Dark Shroud. The goal here is that your Shadow Clone duration is 15 seconds, and I don't Masterwork all my gear because I will play also with Death Trap build. But once you are 12 to 12, when you are casting your Shadow Clone, your cooldown have to be around 15 seconds. And finally, attack speed and critical strike damage is really important. Attack speed will not improve the frame per second of your skill, but it will improve your damage of channeled skills. So this is why attack speed is really strong for Dance of Knife rogues. Our runes are different, and it depends of the variant you play. There is a lot of different combinations that are worse depending of your situation, and you have all different combinations here in my planner can help you. Backja for mobility and teleport. You can play with Neovex or Yaxvex for gain skill ranks. This is really great, more Celia and more damage. You can play with Neohom, the Barbarian Warcry for more damage. You can play with Neo Tool if you want to add easily vulnerability on your target. You can play with Neozek. This is really great early on Neozek to reset fast your city, because as you can see here, each 2 seconds with a Neo rune, you will reduce your active ultimate cooldown by 2 seconds. This is really strong to be always under Shadow Clone. You can play any mod for free, Dark Shroud Charge. This is the setup that I use for Push version. So for this setup, I'm actually using Neozek to reduce my ultimate cooldown reduction, and I'm using Backja for speed farming, and I can teleport every 25 meters I traveled. Alright? You can move through the map really fast. And for the gens we are using Emerald on armor because it gives us more dexterity, and this is a great source of damage for rogue. Dexterity is our core stat, so it's always good. We are using Full or Diamond. It depends on your resistance cap. You have to reach 1000 armor for your defensive cap, and you can use also Song of the Mountain. As you can see, I reached the cap of the armor, and we are using our Paragon Bond and Diamond to try to reach resistance of all elements, but also with Masterwork on Amulet and Ring, we opt for resistance to all elements. Now let's check Mercenary. I like to play with Rare. You can play both Specialization of Rare. This is the one you gain resistance to all elements, unstoppable, and 50% increased damage against enemy affected by Rare's Ground Slam, and also deal 25% damage when you are under Rare Bastion. You can also go for this. You can also opt for this pass. Shield Charge, Rare's Guard for gain 15% more armor. Provoke, then Mocking Lure, you deal 15% increased damage to enemy taunted by a Rare. So those both specs for Rare are great. So we take Vaiana in reinforcement because we are using Bloodthirst boost. Vaiana enter Bloodthirst gaining 30% attack speed, 200% movement speed, and unstoppable for 7 seconds. And Vaiana Bloodthirst grants 10% attack speed to you for the same duration. So this is really strong. Now my friend, before check the Paragon Bond, I will show you a daily gameplay of the Dance of Night Rogue, Speedfarm, Pit, Push, Boss, Met, overall end game content. And if you like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's go! Now the Paragon board. So here the starting board. We are playing with versatility. It boosts all magic nodes here within the range, and the non-basic and non-core skill deal 25% more damage. So this is great, and this boosts are all magic node, as you can see here. Damage to elite, strength, damage. We are taking prime and resilience, more resistance to all element and more max life. Second board, we are playing with chip shot, more damage against crowd control enemies, up to 25%, and a nearby staggered boss provide the maximum bonus. We are playing with Headhunter, more damage to elites, and this also boosts our normal nodes. So we really want to have dexterity everywhere in this board. We are taking Deviant, more resistance to all elements, damage reduction for elites with Safeguard, armor, damage reduction from elite, damage to ground control, armor, damage healthy, and maximum life. And the third one I use is No Witness. Your ultimate skill gains an additional 20% damage from your damage with ultimate bonus, and grant this bonus to all skill for 10 seconds when cast, and I actually add the maximum bonus that is 60% more damage. And for the glyph, we are playing with Devious. This boosts your magic nodes also, so we will take all the juicy magical node here, and when you hit an enemy or boss with an attack that happily crowd control effect, this is great with our Cold Embodiment. They take until 10% more damage from you for 20 seconds. Take Deliverance ultimate damage. This is really great ultimate damage on magical node. Skillful, more damage, dexterity, color, this is really important, more attack speed, ultimate damage, recuperate, more maximum life. Then the fourth board, we play with Eldritch Bounty. This is really great because we are dealing 30% more damage while we are using Cold Embodiment, so this is really strong. It's a good multiplier, and we are taking Canny because your non-physical damage increase all the non-physical damage an enemy takes from you for a 1% up to 15% for 15 seconds. Then we take Surface Resilience, resistance to all element, damage reduction, and ready supply, more non-physical damage, imbuement cooldown reduction. You see it's useless, but non-physical damage is okay. Non-physical damage, dexterity, also with concussion. And the final board is Dance Macabre. Casting a mobility or subterfuge skill increase the damage of your next skill by 75%. I will explain you this just right after. And we take control, more damage increase against shield or frozen enemy up to 20%. Then we take Assassin, plus 50 damage to healthy enemy, and Color, more subterfuge, cooldown reduction, and just for resistance to all elements. Alright, so how Dance Macabre works. Dance Macabre is in French. That means you always want to dash before activate your Shadow Clone or before you start spinning with the Dance of Knife to deal more damage, 75% more damage. And for the push version, we are not using Chip Shot, but we are using Deadly Ambush because we deal plus 30% increase critical strike damage to enemy affected by our trap skills. But we still play with Headhunter on this board. And to finish with your extra point, just take all the dexterity points you can, and you can also add extra points on strength or intelligence to reach easily your armor cap or your resistance to all elements. But if you want to really focus your DPS, just take maximum of dexterity you can. Now Elixir and Incense, we are taking Elixir advantage, 15% attack speed and lucky hit. Queen Supreme dexterity increased by 100. Song of the Mountain armor increased by 300. And finally, Saucing Spice to increase the resistance of all elements. So now, don't forget the core of the loop. I will show you 3 different loops. The first one is when you're on a speed farm and just clear everything and you don't have to deal the maximum damage because you are already trading your enemy. So you can start to activate your Dark Shroud always. Caltrops. Then you dash, activate Shadow Clone, Imbuement, and you are start spinning. And if you are speed farming, you don't have to always put your caltrops. Just refresh your Shadow Clone and your Cold Imbuement. So now dash, Shadow Clone, Cold Imbuement, and now you can deal maximum of damage. Clone, Imbuement, dash, maximum damage. Alright? Dash, Clone, Imbuement, maximum damage. And you can move really fast with Backjar, Rune, and your dash through the enemy. And now, if you want to really respect the maximum of damage possible, you will have to refresh your caltrops to benefit fully of all the multipliers. So caltrops, dash, Shadow Clone, Imbuement, maximum damage. Here we go. And you always have to dash and finish your dash on your target to drop the grenade at the right place. You can see here, caltrops, dash, the Shadow Clone, Imbuement, here we go. Right? If you dash here, the smoke is not well placed. You have to finish your dash right at the feet of your enemy. So caltrops, dash, Shadow Clone, Imbuement, here we go. And this is the same thing for the Purge variant when you are using Poison Trap. Now, as you can see, I don't have Dark Shroud active. I remove Dark Shroud for Poison Trap, but I still have my point. But I still have my points here, and I will fully benefit of my improved Dark Shroud. But I have to put my runes, for example, Hini and Mott. And you just have to spam your skill. As you can see here, 3 Dark Shroud, 4, and finally 5. I have all my Dark Shroud, and now you can start your pit or your run. I repeat, this is the push version for maximum damage, so this is pretty the same. Caltrops, trap, dash, clone, imbuement, here we go. And you repeat the process, and you have to do this every 7-8 seconds approximately. Drops, Trap, dash, shadow clone imbuement, here we go. Cat drops, trap, dash, shadow clone imbuement, here we go, my friend. Alright, Niflheim. Those are the Danes of Knife, fast, deadly, and adaptable. It is not as strong as Death Trap for speed pushing, but this is really stylish and this is really fun to play and to deal with overall endgame content. If this guide helped you, drop a like and sub for more elite build. And tell me in the comments, speed or push, which variant you will dance with.